All right. So we are live. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Woodland Pools and to another Cardano Q&A live stream. So I know it's not quite the holidays yet, but I decided to wear my World Mobile holiday sweater because I don't have any other World Mobile shirts to wear. But we have some really big news in World Mobile today, and we're going to dig into that a little bit later. If you are joining us live, let us know where you're joining from and any questions that you have, and we'll get to those in between the different topics. If you're joining us on the replay, also let us know where you're joining from. I always think it's fun to see where people are joining from all over the world, and let me know as we go through this stuff if there's anything that I should have covered this week that I didn't. Especially people joining us on the replay, I'm going to add chapters down below for all the different things that we go through here. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into it. A few things we're going to take a look at today is there we go, so that's working. We're going to take a look at the ballots for voting for the Cardano Summit has opened up. We'll take a look at that. Book.io, year in review, some stats there, updates on midnight, and then we'll spend most of our time talking about the big news going on with World Mobile. So let's do a couple of hellos here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. CBD Suddy, keeping it nice and brief, but joining us quite often. Really good to see you again, Suddy. Happy to always have you around. Accelerate, competing with the Braves and Phillies. Well, I appreciate you being here, even with that game going on. So thanks. And Sup, just delegated to people. Hey, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. And welcome to the community. Really happy to have you. And actually, yeah, if you wanna join him, anybody else that wants to join Humanen TV, you can also be one of our delegators here to the ASPEN stake pool. We always appreciate everybody joining. If you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do so. And we'll get to that a little bit later as well. What do we got here? Woodsy. Great to see you, Woodsy. When Latin South America. What's going on? Manuel Coronel. When, well, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but I will be in South America in December. And then in right after the new year, I'm going to pass by Buenos Aires and hang out with some of the LATAM guys there in Argentina. So that'll be cool. But cool, I think that catches us up with the early hellos. Let us know where you're joining from as you come in. Any questions that you have, we'll get to them between the different sections. Let's go ahead and jump in. The first thing that I actually wanted to talk about is I wanted to stop here for a second and say, I know we have some of the folks in the Hosky community here. I know there's some Book.io people here, and there's some long followers of the channel. It's actually really cool seeing how we've had all these different people that have sort of found the channel in different ways. It's been really, really great. And I think that this is probably a result of some of that, like sort of people joining from all over the place. And I wanted to stop and say, first of all, thank you to all of you who nominated myself and Woodland Pools here for the ballot at the Cardano Summit for special commitment and work of a Cardano ambassador. That's me. I'm Guillermo, by the way, for most people that don't know my name. Really appreciate being nominated for this. And like I said, the group of people there is great. I truly appreciate it. I thank you so much. If you do appreciate the stuff that we do here and you want to support me and the channel, it would be really cool if you don't mind coming to this link and voting in the Cardano Summit for me as Cardano Ambassador. That would be kind of cool. And that being said, I wanted to point out what happens at the Cardano Summit every year. They did it last year, and it's going to happen again in Dubai this year. Is there are categories for awards for all these different categories, and these are both nominated and voted on purely by the community. So everybody that is in these different categories, like for example, let's take a look at NFT project. We've got a bunch of good ones here, including Book.io and Hosky, two of my favorite organizations. So both of these, along with Clay Nation, all these other ones that you recognize around here, were nominated by the community. You come in and you vote for whichever one you think is the best one. So take a couple minutes. This is a really straightforward process. Currently, you can only vote with a software wallet, which is kind of a bummer. But if you do have some time and you have a software wallet, please come in and vote for your favorite in these different categories. For example, educational influencer. A lot of familiar names here. Army of Spies, good friend of the channel, Cardano with Paul, Peter with Learn Cardano. So a lot of really, really cool and helpful people from the community here. So take a minute and come and vote. And like I said, if you don't mind voting for me, I'm Guillermo, by the way, who like it says here, runs Woodland Pools. Of course, my logo is covering it, but in any case, you can come and vote. I'd really appreciate that. So that is what is going on. Is that link not working, the one that I put in there? Oh, and thank you for the reminder, Woodsy. I think it's technically October 11th, but that's in like GMT or whatever. And so, depending on where you are in the world, that will close probably sometime tomorrow. Today is the 9th here in warm, sunny Colorado. So, voting closes sometime tomorrow. So, if you don't mind coming in here and voting in the next 24 hours or so. Oh, Derpy, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Yeah, that would be great. Here, let's try this again. Does this link not work? Give that a try. There we go. Huh. Well, anyways, yeah, give that a try and see if that works for the voting. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let me know if you guys are having trouble getting to that. I will also put this stuff in the description as well. Next, I wanted to take a look at this. This is pretty cool. Everyone here that follows the channel knows I'm a big fan of Book.io. That's why I followed it for the channel for so long, and now I work there. So I wanted to share with you guys some cool infographic that Ben and the team put out on the first year in review. So let's take a look at that. Here we got, oh, okay, sweet. So the link's working for you. Awesome. Glad to hear it. So let's take a look. This is a pretty sweet little infographic here. Let me get this out of the way. So here's some cool stuff on what has happened in Book.io in the past year. The project's been around for a little bit over a year now, and this was published just a couple of days ago. And so we have here some stats on revenue, number has been sold, average book retail, and then resale price. That's kind of cool. Here's our little team of 14 people. And, ooh, this is actually... let's look at this. We have not careers? Oh, I have to type it right. If you want to join us on the Book.io team, we are currently hiring for lead front-end engineer, mobile applications, back-end, senior integrations, and an AI illustrator. If you want to hang out with Zanji and Billy. But in any case, so here is our little team of 14 people. Investors, Ingram Group, BDMI, and Mark Cuban's Radical Investments. Yeah, so here's some highlights from the year. iOS and Android apps, single-use redemption codes that we used at both Consensus and Rare Evo. Yeah, kind of a cool little graphic if you want to go through it. There's stuff here on the roadmap that I think is kind of exciting. So Q4 of this year, audiobooks, large book giveaways. This is a cool one that Ben has been talking about lately. So the idea of, instead of having one of these single-use code cards, I thought I had one around here. Maybe I misplaced it. But the little scratch cards, here we go, this guy. These little scratch cards that we did that have just like a single code on the back. Instead of doing that where each card is one code, one of the things that we're adding is the ability where a single code can have access to, like, okay, maybe like 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people can use this code, and the first 1,000 to use it, that's all there is. So that's what large book giveaways is all about. Yeah, so lots of cool stuff here. If you haven't checked this out yet, I cannot wait for Mint and Print. That's going to be very exciting. Read tracking and verification, that's our read to earn. So yeah, lots of really cool stats. This is a great little graphic that the team put together. So yeah, check that out. Pretty neat. All right, so with that, next, we talked about on the channel, and this is already linked in the description down below, an overview video of Midnight. So Project Midnight is the project that the IOHK team is doing to support a private transaction blockchain on the Cardano network. So Midnight's going to be a layer 2 that runs on the Cardano network on top of the Cardano layer 1, and it will support private transactions back and forth natively, similar to how like Monero does as its own standalone blockchain. Midnight will run on Cardano to do that. So if you want some more information on how Midnight's going to work, check out the video in the description below. Just about a year ago was when it was first introduced, and we talked about it then. So there's more information on that. If you want to check out more about them, you can come to midnight.network and find out more about the project and what they are going to do and why. And then additionally, there is going to be a Twitter space that is happening in just a couple of days where the CEO of Midnight and Charles are going to talk about Midnight and all about it and what it is. And the other piece, too, that I wanted to make sure we point out is here. If you are a developer and you want access to the Midnight network on the sandbox on Testnet, you can come to midnight.network and you can register for the DevNet and be a Midnight pioneer and be one of the first people to play with Midnight as a layer 2 application on the Cardano blockchain. Really cool stuff. We will also talk more about this moving forward, especially after this Twitter space happens. But I want to make sure to let you guys know, because we've been hearing a lot about Midnight sort of coming, and it's coming for a while, but it's really exciting to see that we're about to get to a live testnet actually running it. So that will be really exciting stuff. Okay, so with that, let's get to it. The biggest news of the week is just after this. Let me mention this first. So the big news of the week is about World Mobile, but with World Mobile, so let's have a reminder for everybody about what World Mobile is and how it works, and the whole idea of connecting the unconnected. There are three main parts to it. There is there's the air nodes, the earth nodes, and the ether nodes. The ether nodes are sort of what happened, like the connection to get, let's call it like the actual legal and regulatory telephony things figured out to just be able to support calls at all. And then you've got these air nodes, and the air nodes are the ones that actually propagate the signal. And then the earth nodes are what runs on the blockchain to handle and facilitate transactions and the computational stuff. So earth nodes are very similar to stake pools, which is why on Cardano, which is why a lot of your favorite Cardano stake pool operators are signing up to be earth node operators for World Mobile. With Woodland Pools and ASPEN, we have an earth node reservation, so we will also be running one. But for people on the ground that want to provide the service of actually facilitating, like propagating the network, like as if it was like a Wi-Fi SSID, that is where air nodes come in. And so if you want to run an air node, you can sign up for a whitelist for early access to the first batch of air node sales. And you can come to this website here and get access to that. And this will be in the description below as well. So I just wanted to mention that because that just got announced. So I want to make sure you guys knew about that. And then in addition to that, there was some big news that came out just a few days ago out of Oregon. So as we know, World Mobile has been moving forward in Zanzibar and then across Africa is their goal. And we'll get to more about that in a second. But additionally, they've been talking about going live in the United States and connecting rural areas in the United States. A huge announcement that came out just a little bit less than a week ago that World Mobile is announcing a strategic partnership with Adaptive Broadband, which is a leading rural internet service provider based in the United States out of the state of Oregon. So this is really cool. We see World Mobile, who knows how to run this network and knows what they want to do, pairing with this rural internet service provider, Adaptive Broadband. This, let me skip ahead actually. Well, actually, that's fine. Let's go in order. It's a good way to go. This partnership marks the commencement of World Mobile's U.S. commercial operations in the United States and the integration of its decentralized air node infrastructure, which you can sign up for if you want to be an air node operator, and sharing economy into Adaptive Broadband's existing internet service provider network. Now, Adaptive brings more than 15 years of delivery of experience, reliable internet services servicing rural communities in Oregon, and this is where I think, actually, that'll be the last thing we talk about, yeah. So by collaborating with World Mobile, Adaptive Broadband integrates this infrastructure into the sharing economy, converting more than 70, this is actually really cool, 70 of its existing radios, towers, and hotspots are going to be air nodes. So basically, Adaptive Broadband is going to take all the infrastructure that they already have, and they're going to basically turn all of those into being air nodes on the World Mobile network. That is so cool. And then these air nodes are going to be validated and authenticated using World Mobile's blockchain and using World Mobile's Earth nodes, which is what we just talked about. And so the way this all comes together, if this isn't clear sort of what they're getting at, this partnership converts all of Adaptive Broadband's rapidly growing subscriber base into World Mobile customers basically overnight. So this is huge news for World Mobile coming out of Oregon in the United States, where they bring all their expertise and this whole infrastructure of how they're going to run air nodes and earth nodes and all this stuff together. And then you've got this company here, Adaptive Broadband, that has this customer base, and they're already serving poorly connected areas in rural Oregon. And the combination of those two and seeing Adaptive Broadband's customers becoming World Mobile customers and all these towers becoming air nodes, really, really, really exciting stuff. So if that wasn't exciting enough from just a few days ago, this big news came out that it was, it's official as of earlier today, actually, as of 2 o'clock in the morning today, our time here in Colorado. World Mobile is delighted to announce the successful launch of the first commercial telecom Aerostat in Africa. So we've talked a lot on the channel about how Earth nodes, air nodes, how it's all going to work together, and the notion of how an air node can be something that you kind of just put on the side of a building, or it can be this huge blimp of an aerostat that's flying up in the air that can propagate the signal for hundreds of kilometers. And so they, some background on this, the World Mobile team, and this is why Paul here was saying congrats to everybody to get to this point, because the World Mobile team did their first launch in Zanzibar and went live there. And they were planning on taking one of these aerostats live in Zanzibar, but nearly a year later, still fighting through regulatory stuff, they were not able to get it up yet. So in the meantime, they've also been working with the government of Mozambique, and it appears that the Mozambique government was much more amenable to moving things forward. And just this morning, the first ever World Mobile Aerostat has gone up and live in Mozambique. So huge congratulations to Micky, the whole World Mobile team, and then all of us other EarthNode operators that can't wait to get started on this. Huge congrats to everybody that came together to make this happen. This is absolutely massive in terms of taking this whole idea of World Mobile that we've been talking about for so long, about these things that it can do, and connecting the unconnected, and getting us to that point. Thanks for joining us, Hosky. Perfect timing. Yes, it is quite exciting. And so that's good. We'll leave that. That will be our chapter designation, will be Hosky here as we go through the rest of this World Mobile announcement. So got some good coverage on this in the news. We see that Business Insider Africa was talking about it, and then some stats on how this is coming together and what it means. So Mozambique, their internet user rate right now is only 23%. And so the idea here is that when this launches, they're trying to address the discrepancy of those that are connected with the ones that are not, and bring a network that is accessible, affordable, and sustainable. And this right here is sort of the mission of World Mobile. There are 3.6 billion people, almost half of the world's population, who does not use mobile internet because they don't have access to it. So this Aerostat is going to offer standard cellular connectivity, covering a radius of up to 130 kilometers. So for those Americans, that's... what would that be? Maybe about 80 miles or something like that? Overcoming the challenges of terrain, infrastructure, and cost that often hinder expansion of mobile networks. Here's a long announcement from World Mobile about this, covering some of the same things that we just talked about. I wanted to read some of these things with you. According to the GSMA, globally, there are 3.6 billion people, half the world's population, who don't use the internet. And this is an additional stat here. Additionally, this includes the connectivity gap, which is about 400 million people who are not covered by mobile networks at all. So this is people that maybe could have access to it but don't use it. And then, or I guess it's mobile internet. And these are people, this 400 million, don't even have a way of communicating by mobile at all. So it's not, forget internet, they just don't even have cell signal. And they're unconnected because legacy mobile networks do not invest in hard to reach places. So at World Mobile, we don't take distance for an answer. We'll go the extra mile because we know connection is everything. So here's the announcement. At dawn this morning, close to Messenger in Mozambique, it went live the extra mile and history was made. So with this launch, it's the first commercial telecoms Aerostat in Africa, the first Aerostat in Southeast Africa, and the biggest Aerostat World Mobile has used to date. So they've been testing on all different kinds of sizes, and this is the largest one that they've launched. So really, really cool stuff. Here's some more of those stats. The internet user rate in Mozambique was 23%, which is striking, given that almost 62% of the population lives in rural areas, and this is exactly the kind of thing that something like World Mobile can help solve. Because if you think about it, this thing being 300 kilometers, or let's see here, it's not 300 kilometers, 300 meters, so 0.3. So going 300 meters in the air can go a lot higher than a tower and reach a lot further. You can actually see here, there's some towers nearby, and you can see how much higher up this is. So really, really cool stuff there. Definitely. Congrats, Micky and the whole team. Hey, CBD Study, hello from Oklahoma. When Okie Aerostat? I don't know. It's a great question. How's your internet and cell phone connectivity in Oklahoma? So, yeah, really, really cool stuff there. With that, the other thing, too, I wanted to share, CNBCAfrica actually had Micky on here, and he talked for about 10 minutes about the launch, about World Mobile, what it all means. Yeah, so some cool information there if you want to check out that interview. Man, we flew through everything today. So here's another thing, too, that I've been thinking is that, instead of like trying to find news and things to talk about every week, or instead of saying, okay, you know what, let's see what we can talk about for about an hour or so, I think what we'll start doing is like, we'll do these live streams every Monday. And what we'll do is we'll just talk about whatever there is to talk about. Some weeks we're going to have a packed like hour of stuff to go through. And sometimes it'll just be like, hey, a couple things happen. Let's talk through it. 15, 20 minutes. Everybody have a good week, you know? So I think I kind of like that approach, and it might go that way. So I mainly wanted to focus on the World Mobile stuff to make sure that was on everybody's radar. Sign up for midnight if you want to be testing that. I will link this down below for the book Aerostat. If you wouldn't mind voting for myself for Cardano Ambassador, especially those of you that nominated, if you want to go that extra one more step and vote, I would really appreciate that. That'd be super cool. And if you like the kind of educational content that we do here on the channel and you want to support the channel, the best way that you can do that is by delegating to the ASPEN stake pool and join one of our almost 1,200 delegators. And like I always say, from all the biggest whales to the smallest fishies, everybody is welcome. The channel now is coming up on 3 years. The pool is coming up on 3 years of being around, and it's been an absolutely awesome journey. Oh, thanks, man. Really appreciate you, Accelerate. Wonder how they're going to spread to places that aren't underserved. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They're really focusing on primarily on those underserved areas because that's kind of like their whole thing. You know, that's what their sweet spot. When 10. Sorry, man. I gotta do. Someone's got to send me just like a book of like all of the Hosky terminology because I'm still coming up to speed on it. But in any case, I think that is as good of a spot as any. I want to speak about Hosky. I want to finish with our buddy Hosky. As good a spot as any to call it for the week. So thank you guys all so much for coming out. Brought this in right at about 20 minutes, and I think we covered some good stuff. If I missed anything, let me know down below, and we will do this thing exactly 1 week from now, 11 p.m. UTC, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and 5 p.m. in warm, sunny Colorado. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you next time. Bye.